Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
And items, I lost my spot here. When items are heard and comments shall be intended or limited to 3 minutes per individual or group. So Supervisor House, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please rise and remove your hats. Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Here.
Supervisor House.
Here.
Supervisor Fuhrer.
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford is absent. Supervisor Messick.
Here.
Thank you.
Consent items, consent agenda. Is there any questions on the consent agenda?
Move to approve. We can just change the wording on the minutes that uses the word consensus when it was majority on the position held by the CAO.
Okay. You move to approve with that change of?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay. Public communications.
Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we have one request to speak card and no hands raised on Zoom.
All right.
Tony Farley.
Vasquez. Tony Farley's South Walton Hyde Park. Yeah, County Administrator, I heard bad news. Police Chief of Marysville was on ministry leave. I feel sorry for the police chief. I feel like I lost an ally in the police department, Officer Darty. I feel sorry I lost a best friend and a hero. This County Council, McGeorge lady, I like her. Very bad for us on here today, but it's Sacramentan. John Mist, the cowboy farmer. And and Seth Fuller, the diversity board member, and future chairman of the diversity board. Supervisor House, big house in Marysville, and Annie Vasquez, a Vietnam War vet, reserve deputy, and Marine Corps veteran. Hoorah! And Misty, thank you, Misty, for your service. As support manager. With Kelly, thank you, Sergeant over there. Thank you. Amateur CSOs. Thank you, Rachel Down. Thank you, Dr. Liu. Thank you, Tony over there, my neighbor. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, the Sheriff. Thank you, Clint Curry, DA's office. Thank you to the probation chief over there. Thank you to everybody. Thank you for your service. Pray for Officer Darty. Rest in peace, Officer Heaven, the hero. Thank you for all your service for the government of Yuba County and Yuba-Sutter. Thank you for your service. There you go.
Thank you, Tony. Anyone else?
No one else.
Good. All right. Special presentations. Present proclamation to the First United Methodist Church celebrating 175th anniversary of Methodism in Marysville. Supervisor House is going to present this proclamation. So is there anyone from the Methodist Church here in the audience? Oh, yeah.
Today we're gathered to present a proclamation to the First United Methodist Church of Marysville for their 175th anniversary of Methodism in Marysville and their 100-year anniversary of their church that's. Let's see here. Whereas the First United Methodist Church in Marysville, California was established in 1850 as the Marysville Methodist Episcopal Church located between 3rd and 4th Street. Church moved in 1853 to the corner of 4th and East Streets, where the first public school in Marysville was held until October 1921, when it was destroyed by fire. And whereas in 1925, present-day church was erected on the corner of 8th and D Streets. The building and windows were dedicated by Bishop Burns in 1927, and the memorial organ dedicated in loving memory to all who served the United States during World War II was placed in the church in 1947. And whereas the church continues to serve the residents of Marysville and the surrounding areas in both English and Hmong languages, offering worship services, choirs, Sunday school, youth ministry, and a praise team. And whereas the church outreach program serves meals to homeless 4 days each week, works with the Christian Assistance Network to provide food and clothing to those in need, and contributes to multiple charitable organizations located in our area, such as Casa de Esperanza, Twin Cities Rescue, and Salvation Army, as well as many others. And whereas the First United Methodist Church welcomes all to attend and accepts everyone with much love. Now, therefore, the Yuba County Board of Supervisors recommends the First United Methodist Church, or commends the First United Methodist Church on their 175th anniversary, and commends them in their united efforts to minister to the Marysville community through their many charitable acts and service. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Victim Services Unit to honor local law enforcement, district attorney staff, and community partner agencies for outstanding service in crime victims of Yuba County.
Good morning, Board. Thank you for the opportunity. On behalf of Yuba County Probation and the Victim Services Division, we would just like to thank you for this opportunity. Again, we're going to be recognizing some hardworking individuals today. So in the month of April, National Crime Victims' Rights Week was first declared in 1984, and it's always memorialized in this month. The idea is to focus on the needs of our victims, and it provides a moment to reflect on the devastating impact crime has on our victims and our families. But as first responders and advocates work to lessen the pain and provide support while others grieve, we want to acknowledge those who walk the walk with our victims. It's not easy to take on someone else's pain. It's not easy to be patient when a crisis needs to be handled. It is not easy to listen and hear all the details of somebody else's trauma. But today, we want to ensure those who have walked the walk are seen. Today, we recognize a few of our first responders who are true advocates for our victims. So first and foremost, Fabiola Valdez Flores. Come on up. Hi, Fabiola. Congratulations. So we have a few good things that people have written about you. So you were nominated at one of our unit meetings and unanimously chosen. And here's why. So Fabiola, she's very concerned about our victims. When she's assigned a case that involves domestic violence or reports of child abuse, she reaches out to us to find out if we've had contact with the family, to see what the clients need, to see where she can help. She reaches out to the victim, and she gets information, and she listens to their concerns. Often, Fabiola learns information that needs to be shared with our victims and advocates, and she always ensures that we're aware. We have had victims identify that if they were ever put on probation, they would want Fabiola as their probation officer. Why? Because she cares, and she speaks to them with respect and dignity. Extremely important. Fabiola Flores, you are a huge asset to the department and to our victims of Yuba County. Thank you again. Next, Marysville Police Officer, Officer Autumn Rosenfeld. Good morning. Thank you. So Officer Rosenfeld is great at referring clients to victim services. She even has brought them in personally to the office to ensure that they get their assistance right away. We call this the warm handoff. So this warm handoff isn't part of her job, but she does it because she cares. She listens while ensuring that they get all their needs met. We just wish to recognize her compassion and her commitment, as we know that sometimes our clients can be difficult, but she assures them and makes sure that they feel heard. Looking forward to her becoming a forensic interviewer. I heard you going through the training. Okay. And she will be a great asset to our forensic interview team. But first and foremost, the connecting factor of all these people who are being awarded today is this compassion. So those warm handoffs might seem simple, but they really mean something to our victims as they walk through those doors. Again, thank you for what you do. Next, previous Yuba County Sheriff Detective Tyler Johannes. Morning, Tyler. Sir. So Tyler was a huge asset to the Sheriff Department Detective Unit. He would reach out to our office and ask questions on some of his cases to ensure he was providing everything available to victims. He would also provide that warm handoff and accompany victims directly to our office. His reports were very informative, listing all victims, including children who sometimes were forgotten as victims or witnesses. While on duty, Tyler would respond to our office to interview victims if they didn't feel comfortable going to the Sheriff Department. Tyler, you observed numerous forensic interviews of children being abused and mistreated, all while displaying admirable people skills to address frantic parents. Tyler just showed that empathy and compassion we all want for our victims and their families. These are just a few reasons why we wanted to recognize you today. Sir, thank you. Last but not least, Deputy District Attorney Andrew Naylor. Morning. So I'm smiling pretty largely because we see Andrew a lot. Andrew is assigned the juvenile caseload, and he works with children who have been sexually assaulted, which is not good times. He sees, hears, and reads unimaginable acts of horror committed upon our most vulnerable. Though it's not an easy task, Andrew makes sure the victims' voices are heard and fights for what is fair for our victims. The law is not always on our side of the victim, but Andrew works hard to ensure he gets justice for our clients. Andrew is great at listening and hearing the victims and their families' concerns about the criminal justice system. Andrew meets each victim and talks to them in a way that makes them feel safe. We want to recognize him for his compassion, commitment to bringing justice to the victims and their families. Again, Andrew, thank you for what you do, sir. Any chance we have a moment to have all recipients come up and maybe take a picture together with the board, please? Yes, please. Right there's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, can we get a loud round of applause for these people?
All right. Next, we are going to receive a quarterly update from Community Development Services Department. You want to wait just a minute or so, Rachel, let everybody clear out? Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Good morning, members of the board. Rachel Downs. I am one of your deputy directors from Community Development, and we have the opportunity to share with you our quarterly development update. I just wanted to confirm I am sharing my screen. I know I often forget that step. Looks good on your side? Okay, just checking. And so I have the pleasure, before we get started, I have the pleasure of introducing one of our newest team members this morning, and Ashley Potocznik, who will be fulfilling the role of Business Engagement Manager. As you may be familiar, I have transitioned to this deputy director role, overseeing both economic development and our planning team. So Ashley will be filling that position, kind of my right hand in all things economic development. Ashley received her degree in landscape architecture from Utah State and has previously worked in land development and planning. She brings to our team a tremendous amount of professionalism, connections with local and regional developers, as well as a great refreshing perspective on doing business in Yuba County. So I just wanted to say congratulations, and we're excited to welcome you to the team, Ashley. And she will also be supporting community development and continuing these quarterly development updates for your board as well. All right, so next up, and we're going to co-present this for you guys. So I'm going to take the first slide, and then I'm going to hand it off to Ashley here in just a minute. So the first thing that we wanted to share with you in our quarterly development update is what we kind of like to jokingly call a rebrand that's not really a rebrand. And you've probably noticed we've started using more of the nomenclature of Yuba County economic development and really owning this space. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about what that looks like. But as you know, the terminology of Yes to Yuba started during a time where local businesses needed support, and they needed it fast. It started as a response to the uncertainty during the COVID-19 pandemic back in 2020, and it really became a way to connect, communicate, and show up for our business community. We handed out a lot of personal protective equipment, shared vital updates of what was happening in the business community, and helped them know that we were here and that we had their back. We didn't know it at the time, but the name stuck. And so did the mindset. It captured truly the spirit that had even predated this nomenclature in the mindset and the culture of Yuba County and how we work here. We're responsive, we're collaborative, and we all have a very can-do attitude that's grounded in real solutions. So since then, our role has expanded. We're shifting the nomenclature of calling just our specific team Yes to Yuba County Economic Development. And that better reflects the broader mission of what we do on our team, which is attracting new industries, supporting existing businesses, and strengthening our local economy. But with this new nomenclature, we continue to focus on those businesses and resources that they need to thrive, really meeting them where they're at. But as you're also familiar, in our countywide strategic plan, this Yes to Yuba nomenclature and verbiage isn't going anywhere. It's been adopted more broadly as the mindset of the entire county. And we're embracing this across all departments. So with that being said, Ashley, will you walk us through what exactly is economic development?
Yeah, so in light of this rebrand, it's not a rebrand, we want to talk to you about what economic development is in Yuba County. And you've seen this definition before, but it bears repeating because we want to make sure we're all on the same page when it comes to economic development in Yuba County. So this is about enhancing the overall well-being and quality of life for the community. And we have broken that down in Yuba County into 5 main pillars. So the 5 pillars are strategic planning and resilience, business retention and expansion, attraction and marketing, talent and workforce development, and small business support. And today I want to present to you 2 projects that we're working on that fall under these pillars. And you'll see this recurring. We want to kind of show you how the projects we're working on fit into our broader mission in economic development. So today we'll talk about our business attraction blueprint that we're working on, as well as the Yes to Startups program. So first, business attraction blueprint. We're working with Golden Shovel Agency on a business attraction blueprint that will help us to, when we're going out and attracting new businesses, to make sure that we're doing that in a very targeted approach. So you can think of this as, some people say, shotgun versus rifle. I'm not much of a gun person. So I thought of like drip irrigation versus just a sprinkler system where it's watering everywhere. Drip irrigation is looking at it specifically. And so we're working with this agency to come up with a blueprint for how we can target specific industries that we know are relevant in Yuba County. And then that will help us as we work towards updating our website so that we'll be attracting those businesses in a way that they understand and in a language that they speak. Next. So the next thing we want to talk about is our Yes to Startups program. This is a really exciting program. I was really happy to be a part of it this year with Rachel. I saw it last year, and it's a program that I think every jurisdiction should do if possible. So last week we wrapped it up, and we had 14 businesses participate in the Shark Tank style pitch competition. The top 3 being the Butte Sauce Company. They have hot sauces and spices, as well as Little Pieces of Joy, which is a sourdough company, and Wonderwood's Early Education, which is a kind of daycare. It's a really unique business. I'd be happy to share more about it if there's any questions. So we were excited to partner with SBDC on the Yes to Startups program, and it was a great success.
And so kind of onto our regular programming, those were the main highlights that we wanted to share with you this quarter as far as what's going on in the economic development team. And so we'll go ahead and move over to some other departments within community development. And first, we're going to start with planning. And we do believe that the role of economic development as well is to highlight the key development projects that are happening within the county because we're really promoting the ease of which it is to do business here. And then it kind of helps fill the pipeline, as I like to say, to continue to drive business to community development, to drive business into the county. And we're highlighting those opportunities for growth. So one of the main ones that came in this quarter were I'm sad that Supervisor Bradford isn't here to kind of celebrate with, but I know he's very well aware of the project. But Plumas, in Plumas Lake, Holiday Market did kind of formally announce that they would be developing in the shopping center. And so phase 1 of this project is highlighted for you here in yellow. It will entail the Holiday Market as well as this kind of shops area, as they call it, on the side, as well as a second shops area here. Think of those as like anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000-ish square feet. They can usually be broken up into, they're usually developed as like a regular vanilla shell, and then they can have like a coffee shop or a nail salon or a barber shop, like that kind of like mini strip center, if you will. That's kind of what that like flex commercial space is proposed to be. They don't have the tenants necessarily locked in or announced yet, but those will be what that shops area looks like. And so we are in the current process of doing design review to make sure that it aligns, the design for this project aligns with the previously approved master design review. And then you can see in kind of the greater shopping center, there's a handful of other pads that are proposed here, a junior major retailer on the I guess that would be the east side, and then a handful of other pads up here for the future proposed development of this shopping center in Plumas Lake. also through our planning department, we were able to provide a number of zoning clearances for new home-based cottage businesses, hopefully future yes to startups participants, and an entitlement for the Hallwood Towing Company that's proposed along Highway 20. It's worth noting for this specific project, it's not necessarily intended to be a storage yard or for public access, at least what I traditionally think of when I think of a towing yard. It's actually another existing towing company that operates in this Northern California region. And what they were needing is more of an office space and a place for them to actually park their own trucks so they could service the area. So a little bit different of what you may traditionally think of when you think of a towing company. It's not necessarily going to be a lot of stored cars on that property, but it will be more of like an office, like fleet area for them. And so then over to our building department.
So as you likely know, we also track each quarter the number of building permits, of all building permits that are being issued. And you can see here on the slide in yellow that for this quarter, we are at 575 building permits issued, which is on par with 2022 or 2023 and 2022. But last year in 2024, there was a notable decrease. So what that is telling us is that we are on track this year, even more than last year, to be growing. In addition, we look at production homes. So those are your single-family homes being developed in large tracts. And as well, in this category, we've issued more production home permits this quarter compared to last quarter or the first quarter of last year. And this is showing us that we are on par with 2023 to be building a lot of homes in Yuba County. And that supports the report that was released by the California Department of Finance last year that stated that we're the fastest growing county in the state. In addition, you can see final occupancy to date in the first quarter. That's the section in yellow. So 123 final occupancy permits were issued for production homes just in this quarter. So that supports that we are on track to be hitting at least that 400 new homes per year in Yuba County. Additionally, in buildings, so in commercial building permits, one that we really want to point out is in the Feather River Shopping Center in Linda. So this is the Costco Shopping Center. A building permit is in review for a Chipotle restaurant. The existing building will need to be demolished to make room for the new restaurant, and that is currently under review by the building department and the other relevant departments in CDSA.
Back over to me for Public Works. We also firmly believe that infrastructure is fundamental to any community's economic growth. Your leadership, as well as our staff in Public Works, have truly made infrastructure a top priority. And I think that that's reflected every quarter when we review the Public Works projects that's constantly evolving. And so we wanted to just highlight a few for you here. You can see under recently completed was the Los Verhales Bridge replacement, and the team is diligently working on the Garden Avenue Safe Routes to School project, which is pictured here. And then as we approach what we like to call the annual construction season for Public Works, is they will soon be, they're continuing to make progress on the Feather River Boulevard project and have done an excellent job of communicating to our business community along that stretch, whereas it may impact their driveways, it may impact their business in one way or another, really making sure that we're getting out boots on the ground and talking to those property owners, talking to those businesses, and make sure that they know these projects are coming and that we can build strong partnerships with them during this time. And then as well, the North Beale Road project that will encompass the frontage improvements along Yuba College as well. Those will be coming up in our construction season. All right, and last but certainly never least, our Yuba County Airport has approved designs for the new and refreshed monument signs. They are actively working with nearby businesses to gather names and logos to place on these signs. One will be a refresh of the existing monument sign that is near the industrial park, and then the other will be a net new sign on Skyway and Arboca to kind of decrease the visual clutter of the makeshift signs that are on that corner. So it'll be a great enhancement to our Yuba County Airport area. And then they've also executed a lease, as your board is familiar with, the previous Coca-Cola building, 1430 Melody Road, and securing a tenant to utilize that real estate asset.
So finally, while we may represent economic development and planning, the updates that we've presented today encompass all of CDSA, and it really takes a team to pull off this level of high caliber work. And so we want to just recognize that in CDSA, it's kind of all of us working together under this Yes to Yuba mindset to really move things forward. And we're appreciative for the other departments in CDSA for partnering with us. And we're happy to share the updates that they're working hard on. So thank you so much, board. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for welcoming me into the team with open arms. And if you have any questions, if that's appropriate, we'd be happy to take them.
All right. Well, thank you for the presentation. Ashley, welcome. And Rachel, thanks for doing such a great job. So is there any questions from the board?
Through the chair.
Through the chair. I have a couple of comments. Back in 2009, when I came in, we were known as a place where dreams die. We've since become the largest, fastest growing county in the state per capita. And I think 8 out of 10, the last 10 years, we've led in the assessed valuation increase per capita statewide. Yes to Yuba, it's been an unbelievably successful program, and it shows that working together, rowing in the same direction really works, because Yuba County has done something nobody else has done. They've grown in spite of being one of the poor counties, and I really thank you for getting involved heavily with the Yes to Yuba program. I think that we need to separate a little from Sutter County, because they do 18 units of low-income housing, and we do 148 at one of our locations, plus 150 down in Plumas Lake. So I could talk about Yuba County all day long, because it's not one individual, it's not one idea. It's the fact that the entire team of Yuba has a tendency to row in the same direction. So thank you very much for all the hard work you put into this, because they tried to, I think, plagiarize your yes to Sutter over in the Sutter County, and it never got off the ground. So thanks.
Supervisor House.
Thank you. Welcome to the team. I had an opportunity to sit down with both these ladies and all of the preliminary Yes to Startup pitches. I work a second job as a teacher, so the evening that they had that actually worked out perfectly fine. So I got to get in there and see all of these unpolished gems at that point, and then to see the awards and hear about the presentations that they gave just a couple nights ago. They were able to make some shining stars out of those people, help direct them into a situation where they can seek funding and present to others too, not just to our competition. So it's going to help us grow. So I thank you guys for that. One thing I would want to start tracking, I know you said we got the temporary Coca-Cola bottling facility leased out to Yuba-Sutter Transit. I'd like to start tracking where their permanent facility is, because I think that could help us market that Northville Road corridor if we included that development that's coming. And it's super important that our county beat out all the other counties and cities for that Yuba-Sutter Transit resilient facility. So I definitely want to highlight that in our county. So thank you.
Thank you for the suggestion.
On the Shark Tank project, you need to move it a couple weeks later so I can attend. So after tax season, please. Because I really did enjoy it last year. It was a great program. I'm curious, who made the decision to rebrand on the Yes to Yuba County Economic Development? Whose decision was that?
I would say it was quite a collaborative, organizational-wide effort, as the nomenclature of Yes to Yuba, as I said, was adopted by your board in our strategic plan. Just recognizing that we across the county in every different department are leading with that mindset. It had historically been used as, if I may say, a noun to describe a singular department, and I felt like that was a little confusing. And so, and as we said, the terminology and the mission of economic development is really aligned with the work that we're doing, and so we felt like that was more appropriate.
On the drip system versus flooding irrigation. That is a system that I think is being used by a lot of places to do that. And so we are copying a system that is somewhat successful, but it's a copied system that's going to be used by lots of competitors. And so we're going to be doing the same thing as everyone else in that way. Whereas with the Yes to Yuba, it seemed like it was a little bit of a different system. Mm-hmm. And so we are appealing to people and we are not competing in the same way. Does that make sense? So if everyone is doing the same thing and now we've joined doing the same thing, I don't know if that's going to give us a competitive advantage as opposed to doing something different. It gives us that competitive advantage. And so I would love to see us continue to build off of that and attempt to do something different. So as an example, Costco, when it was brought over, wasn't brought over in a conventional way. We were approached indirectly through personal relationships. That's accurate. And then there are other large industries or other businesses that have come here. I would say let's look at how those were brought in, what we did to be successful in the past that worked outside of the cookie cutter box situation.
If I may, I want to really drive home in the context of that is that we are across the organization utilizing that Yes to Yuba mindset, but we as part of economic development are very much still in lockstep with that. And so what is unique and special and will remain true to our character in economic development is how easy it is to do business here, how across the entire community development department that we are very solution oriented and that we are very innovative, and that is the way that we as a department adopt that mindset, and so that's not going anywhere.
The chair, on that note, we became user friendly in our building department because and that's a big deal to contractors. They deal with counties and cities that have no comprehension of what stopping work on a project does for their bottom line. And I've seen more contractors come in here and leave with a smile on their face than I've ever seen at any place in California. And that's the reason we've been growing, is because you, like you said, you make it so easy to do work here. And thank you for that.
Great, thank you. Thanks for the presentation. All right, next we have ordinances and public hearings. If you challenge in court the actions or decisions of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made in any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group. So item 18, community development services, public hearing, hold public hearing and adopt resolution confirming the diagram and assessments within the Gledhill Landscape and Lighting District.
We do this every year.
Members of the public, good morning. Chair, good morning. Through the chair, members of the board, good morning. So today I'm before you to discuss and recommend holding the public hearing and adopting the resolution confirming the diagram and assessments within Gledhill Landscape and Lighting District. Pretty routine annual process that we've done for several decades now, I believe. This is actually step 2 in a three-step process. 2 weeks ago on the 8th, the board approved the engineer's report declaring the intent to levy and collect the assessments. And today we're going to confirm the diagram and the assessments, the diagram of the district. 2 weeks from now, on the 13th of May, we will be recommending adoption of the final budget, and that will finish the process for essentially getting the Gledhill landscape and lighting district set for the fiscal year. This is all pursuant the Landscape and Lighting Act of 1972 in the Streets and Highways Code. Just a few words. There's really not much to it. It's the same thing we've done for, like I said, last several years. This year there will be no change. The assessment will continue to be $13.20 per unit, which will generate a total revenue of about $49,000. And these funds go towards maintaining the landscape and parks in the district. And with that, that's really about it. Public Works recommends that the Board of Supervisors hold the public hearing and adopt the attached resolution confirming the diagram and assessments within the Gledhill Landscaping and Lighting District. I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you. Any questions?
Are they ever going to raise those rates to what's really required to maintain that?
Through the chair, that's a good question.
It's nice to say we keep the rates low, but that's counterproductive. That's why they have no sidewalks.
Yeah, sure, I can go unless you'd like to step in.
Yeah, just Sam Button, Public Works, just a quick note, and Nick, feel free to elaborate on it. But so this year we are looking into a Prop 218 vote. We're doing some initial research and work with the additional parks and Friendship Park, getting the beautification project. The rates they have been low. I don't think they've changed since it's been created. And so we're looking at a reasonable amount to come to the public and potentially request an increase in the assessment.
Okay. So, a lot of those fees have stagnated for 20, 30 years. And I'm sure that people understand their property values have doubled. And there's a reason they don't have the sidewalk. And we have people complain about the drainage. And that's because we can't bridge the gap as a county. And they need to step up and realize that they need to raise the rates. So.
Yeah, through the chair, it's a good point. I think that's at Sam's point, why staff is looking into and doing a really comprehensive analysis of the cost and the scope. When it was initially established, there was no increase built into it, so it never even kept up with CPI increases or anything. So that is an anticipated path forward also.
Okay, because sooner or later we're going to have to tell these people reality. They're going to have to get their rates up. So, all right, did we open the public hearing, Wayne?
Not yet. Any other questions from the board?
I just want to say thank you for doing a comprehensive analysis, because I'm kind of on the other side of that. I'd like to see people not be priced out of their homes and see when the new park gets established or new sidewalks come out that it might personally affect their ability to pay it. So I'd like them being happy when they see sidewalks and parks and lighting districts being successful. So I'd love to see other opportunities to make up the difference somewhere else in our county or general fund, either way.
And through the chair, real quick, just to elaborate.
What's that?
Is it okay if I make a comment real quick?
Yes.
Supervisor House. And we will be reaching out to you guys directly to work through that process. We're always looking at creative and interesting revenue sources. It's definitely a delicate act as we go through that, or if we do initially go through that. We understand that an assessment that's too high, I mean, with fixed incomes and other things like that, it can become very challenging. So we're at the initial stages of it, and we'll be reaching out to you in the future to chat more about it.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Nick. So I'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak on this? Seeing none, any raised hands on Zoom? All right, I'll close the public hearing. And could we have a roll call vote, please?
Move to adopt the resolution determining and imposing assessments within the Linda Street lighting maintenance or Gledhill landscaping.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer.
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford is absent. Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right. Community Development and Services, public hearing, hold public hearing and adopt resolution determining and imposing assessments within Linda Street Lighting Maintenance District. Nick, are you doing this one as well?
I am. I'm back.
Okay.
That's why I stayed put. Good morning again. So this item is to discuss and recommend also holding a public hearing and adopting a resolution determining and imposing assessments within the Linda Street Lighting Maintenance District. Not to be confused with the previous public hearing for the Gledhill Lighting District, it is a similar district geographically, but it has a different function. It was established at a different time. This one too is a multiple step process. Today is we'll initialize it with determining and imposing the assessments. And then 2 weeks from now, on the 13th of May, the staff will recommend that the board approves the budget for the next fiscal year. So one step shorter on this one. This is pursuant the Improvement Act of 1911, also in the Streets and Highway Code. A few words on it. The estimated budget comes in for $100,000 in costs. These funds go towards maintaining and operating streetlights. The proposed assessments will be $12 per unit. This is no change from the previous multiple years. Multiplied out by the 3,800 units creates a revenue of about $46,000. This is in addition to secured and unsecured taxes that also goes towards these maintenance costs, which is about an additional $50,000. So we're matching costs with revenue there. That is really about all there is to say about this one. Again, this is an annual process required to approve the budget. With that, Public Works recommends that the Board of Supervisors hold a public hearing and adopt the attached resolution determining and imposing assessments within the Linda Street Lighting Maintenance District for fiscal year 25-26. I can be happy to answer questions on this one as well.
Excuse me. Okay, I will open the public hearing. Are there any questions from the board members?
I would just have a statement to make that hopefully the people understand that there's multi-million-dollar projects going on that have already been funded and are going to be built. So they're not going to pay for all the curbs, gutters, and sidewalks and plumbing that we're going to put in. But I don't know if they've been notified that those projects are going to start hopefully this year.
Yeah, through the chair, I think our between the various avenues that we have connecting with the public, I think we try pretty hard to get the news out. We've had a lot of participation and outreach events and things like that. So we do our best to engage the public. Hopefully most folks are aware. We're proud of the projects. So we definitely,
they seem to equate those big projects with their money.
I see. Yeah. I think hopefully that's part of the messaging as well, that this is typically those projects are grant funded, that one-time funding for that special improvement project.
Any more questions?
Thank you. You guys have any questions? Okay, is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on this? I have a motion.
Move to adopt the resolution determining and imposing the assessments within the Linda Street Lighting Maintenance District.
I'll second.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer.
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford is absent. Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 20, County Administrator Ordinance. Hold public hearing, waive second reading, and adopt ordinance repealing and reenacting chapters 13.00.030, 13.00.031, 13.00.032. Do I need to read every one of these? No, okay, cool. And consideration fee ordinance code. So who's going to be presenting? Oh, there you go.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Emily Bakken, Management Analyst with the County Administrator's Office. As stated, we discussed the ordinance at our last board meeting on April 8th. There have been no changes or adjustments since that meeting, but I did want to give an update. At the last meeting, Supervisor House highlighted a few concerns about the permits from CDSA. Mike Lee and Kevin Perkins are reviewing some of the fees and are looking into potential options that will be presented to your board at the August board budget workshops. At that point, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions from the board? Public, I'll open it for public, open the public hearing. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak on this? Seeing none, none on Zoom. All right. Do I have a motion?
Motion to waive the second reading and adopt the ordinance repealing and reenacting chapters as listed in the agenda.
Would you like to close the public hearing?
I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer.
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford is absent. Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 21, Community Development Services Ordinance, hold public hearing and waive first reading and introduce ordinance repealing chapter 2.123 of Title II of the Yuba County Ordinance Code relating to the establishment of the Yuba County Library Advisory Commission. Mike Lee.
Good morning, board. Fellow board members, Mike Lee with Community Development. So library opened in 1976, and in 1979, they formed the Library Advisory Commission by ordinance. And this was created to provide advice and feedback to the librarian and board of supervisors on programming and services. And the commission consists of 7 members, 5 from the public, and board of supervisors chair or designee, and then the mayor of the city of Marysville or designee. So a lot has changed over the last 50 years since the creation of the commission. And let's see, so the library has become more accessible than ever to members of the public with technological advances. Just the lines of communication, folks have direct access to the library and library staff. And so the intended purpose of the commission has changed with those advancements over time. And so for the following reasons, we're looking at abolishing the commission and the associated ordinance. And so the reasonings are, first, we've had difficulty obviously filling the seats. We often have about 2 vacancies at any given time. So there doesn't seem to be a tremendous amount of interest in folks filling those. Then, as I previously mentioned, the purpose and the function of the commission has changed over time. And the intended purpose is no longer, the need for that purpose is no longer there. And then lastly, one of the strategic plan priorities was to look at all of the county's commissions, and ones that aren't utilized or needed anymore, then kind of abolish those or trim those down. And that will help with providing staff resources to dedicate towards other things. Like one of the reasons we've been struggling with is, or want to change it, is because the staff is just basically updating the commission on the happenings at the library, instead of seeking feedback and direction from the commission. So it's more like kind of a report out. So we feel that we could utilize staff resources better in a different function capacity. So for those reasons, we're looking at, that's why we're presenting this to your board today to abolish that commission. And happy to answer any questions you have.
All right, I have a question for you, Mike. This won't in any way stop the public from having input on the library. If somebody doesn't like something going on down there, they can still come to us, and
absolutely,
the county staff will be looking into that. Okay. I want to make sure we're not taking anything from the public. Is there any other comments from the board?
What other commissions are we looking at dissolving?
That I don't have an answer for you today.
Through the chair, I'm going to have my comments on what the library is doing in its new cubby hole at our place, and how people are reacting to it. And
all right, let's hear them.
Okay, well, this is going from a big library to a small library. One of the reasons that people liked our library is it gave kids library cards before Sutter County did. And the kids are just happier than heck to have that. But you're doing a great job in the face of adversity. Enjoy the library very much. Families, I'm a stay-at-home mom. These services allow my son to socialize with kids his age and allow him to meet the other parents. Seen tremendous growth in my child, from better sharing skills to better communications with the teacher. It's a beautiful facility with a great staff. The staff's so helpful. And basically, it's such a positive response, face-to-face interactions. They came in February. Wanted to say thank you for all the programs that they've had in the past. Our community really appreciates that library and the staff. And we're looking forward to when the library opens up. So that's just some feedback from this department head.
Through the chair.
Yep.
So, Mike, I know I'm on the library commission, and we talked about this at the meeting, and that there will still be very much open door policy to the public if they have concerns or of any aspect of the library, from what's on the shelves to how they're spending their money, the services they're providing. One thing I do want to make sure, since we won't have that representative oversight group, is that we have a formal process or a complaint system, and maybe even track that, just so, and not just internal to the library, but track that with your department.
So, for example, would you want us to look into doing like an online complaint submittal form, or
either they could have a card there that gets input onto the online, or it's open on the website where they can just click a button and say things they'd like to see in the library, or something that's missing.
Yeah, we implemented something like that for the airport not too long ago, so we can kind of copy that over and implement that for the library as well.
Then the people will get more representation than just that 5-person board that doesn't really show up.
Yeah. Or if they're afraid to come face to face to complain about something, they can click a button on the computer instead.
Yeah. Thank you.
Through the chair, the Public Works has that complaint form. People are starting to use it now. That's one thing you might consider.
I actually had a question that came to me about the library on Messenger, and I talked to Kevin, and 2 minutes later messaged back, and very happy. So thanks for the response. I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing on this. Is there anyone from the public that would come on up, please?
Through the chair, we do have one hand raised on Zoom.
All right, we'll do the live one first and then Zoom.
For Nicole Phillips.
As opposed to the dead one. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Florentina, and I'm a mom here in this area in Yuba County. I have a question for you. How open are you going to be to parents? Well, first of all, let me back up. Will you be having books that aim on LGBTQ? And will you be providing that access to our young children? And if you do, and you have a librarian there that you had no knowledge that these books were there, if a parent comes to you with these concerns, will you remove them?
That is a very loaded question, and I wish Sandeep was here to help answer, because she's more familiar with the actual books that are provided in the library. I unfortunately don't get down to that level of specificity, and so I won't be able to answer your question as to what types of book in that genre are there, if any. It's not really the intended purpose of the hearing today.
Oh, sorry.
I'm happy to talk to you offline.
Yeah, sorry. I thought it was just for any purposes of the, okay. Thank you. So I will talk to you about that afterwards.
Thank you for your comments.
Through the chair, I'd like to talk to her too.
Okay. Hang on, give me 1 minute, please. This one was for regular comments? Okay, so we'll do it after this one. Okay. Is there anyone else from the public? The other note, the hand raised, we're going to take later because it was just general comments. If there's no one else, I will close the public hearing and request a motion.
Waive first reading, introduce the ordinance repealing Chapter 2.123 of Title II of the Yuba County Ordinance Code relating to the establishment of the Yuba County Library Advisory Commission.
Roll call, or do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhr.
Yes, and more commissions.
Supervisor Bradford is absent. Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to back up to public comment because we had someone raise their hand late for on Zoom. So Nicole, is she still there?
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
I apologize. I tried to respond when you guys asked, but it said chat disabled and I wasn't able to unmute. My grandmother is elderly and disabled and has an issue with a code enforcement case where she received a billing statement that they are wanting to impose a lien against her property. However, she most of the charges had nothing to do with her property or her. They were vehicle abatements done from the public roadway. A lot of them were, and the charges associated with those, they weren't on her private property. And then I guess her property was investigated due to an adjacent property that has already had a lien placed against it. And I feel like it's that property that was responsible for the billing statement charges. I sent a letter to the Board of Supervisors, Fuhr, and the clerk of the board, but did not receive a response to it. And we requested a hearing and in writing, and was advised by a code enforcement officer, Cervantes, not to file the hearing because he said we would lose. My grandmother would like someone to review the charges that and the fees that were applied to her billing statement.
Hello, Nicole. Is your mother's name Wanda?
Yes, it is.
Great. So actually, I responded via email a couple weeks ago, and I didn't get a response back. And so then I called yesterday and left a couple and attempted to get through, and was not able to. So absolutely, we'd love to talk to you guys about the specifics of this. I did talk to Jeremy Strang about it, and he said he'd get back to me with an accounting. So I would say that we probably need to do a sit down at some point and go through each of the details, and hopefully we can resolve it. It looks like I have somebody ready to talk about it right now, so I'll let him interject.
Through the chair, Kevin Perkins, CDSA. I don't know any of the specifics on this case, but after this meeting, I will arrange a meeting with me, Jeremy Strang, Nicole, and her grandmother and resolve this.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
And Nicole, that was Supervisor Fuhr that spoke before Kevin Perkins.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Now we're going to move on to correspondence.
Through the chair, we have one request to speak card from Catherine Bonfecti on agenda item 205-2025. Catherine?
Good morning, board. My name is Catherine Pompakdi. I'm a Pompakdi Trust trustee of the property 130 3152 County Road, Oregon South, California 95962. I have the property listed to the tenants Diven Sumanta, which not knowing what he's going to do or planning to do with my property while he living in there. So I did have received a notice hearing to assess the property and record the lien in April 8 at 1:30, and I failed to appear due to misunderstood some of the phone call that I make on the April 4th and the statement, and also knowing the fact that Diven Sumanta was the one that cultivators and caused the non-compliance. So I failed to appear on that day. So, and he admitted that he will take the full responsibility for his misconduct. So I am guilty in making wrong decision not to appear on the April 8. So I believe the decision made on that day may have misunderstood of the circumstance, and also might be the notice letter that I gave him to present that day, because he told me that he did not receive the notice letter that sent to Minnesota. So I gave him just for his reference to the date and location where he needs to appear on the date. There's no other intention. So English is my second language, and this is my first time I encounter the problem with attendance like this, and I have no knowledge about the legal law, rule and processes, and also the circumstances for not appearing. So I'm here, would like to ask your reconsideration regarding to the cost penalty and the lien against my properties. Your Honor.
We can't do that.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific information, knowledge?
I do.
Perfect.
We all do. Yeah, because we just did this hearing a couple weeks ago. So
yes,
your tenant did show up at the hearing.
Sir.
And he was very remorseful. The code enforcement knocked his fines way down, and he said he was going to pay. So, but the way he'll have to do it is he'll have to pay you. You're going to have to pay the county, and he'll have to pay you. So, and I don't believe we can reconsider it. Is that the way you understand it? We'll ask county council.
First of all, this is not on the agenda for today.
Yeah.
And no, but I'm going to need to look at this. So this is the first I've heard of her request. So if you want county.
Yeah, I just want, she obviously came from out of the area up here, so I wanted to give her the information that from the hearing was that our only thing we can do is put the fine on your property. But the tenant was very remorseful. He's even crying in here, and he intends to pay you. So whatever that, you're going to have to pay us and get the money from him.
To allay your fears, there's not going to be any pursuit of you. There's no incarceration. There's no other things that are going to be happening to you. As Supervisor Messick said, the tenant, assuming he follows through on what he said, should be making you whole if he does pay. So everything should be fine if he does what he says he will.
Yeah.
But, it's really hard to trust the people with the word. There's nothing in writing. So in this day, people can turn back on you at any time. So I really, really disappointing that I'm making the wrong decision and lending him the property, trying to help him, moving far away from Minnesota, looking for a place to live. And I'm in San Diego. I trust him that he would take care of my property just like I did, So, and I did not know that he going to do this. And the consequence that I get is not seem right, because I'm a landlord and I don't know what the person do. and I should not be responsible for someone that wrongdoing.
Well, what we can do, because we can't do anything here,
Yes, sir.
we can have somebody, county council or somebody, get back with you and give you the laws of what can and can't be done. I don't believe there's anything you can do now. It's too late. You didn't show up at the hearing. I don't believe we can have another hearing, but we can look into that and get back to you. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
You for your reconsideration. I will greatly appreciate any decision that you make, and I will take this as a lesson learned in my whole big life that I never encountered in the past.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. We
you for
appreciate
your
it.
time and opportunity. Allow me to be here today.
All right.
Thank you.
Excuse me, county council cannot provide legal advice to this member of the community.
No, I don't want you to provide her legal advice, just a kind of a list of the laws of the county and if it can be appealed or not at this point.
I recommend referring her to code enforcement for
Okay.
any additional information.
Okay. So I will refer it. I'll personally call Jeremy and refer it to him to get back to you of what we can and can't do now and what you can and can't do now.
Yes, sir.
So-
And then if code enforcement has any questions for county council, then we'll be happy to advise code enforcement. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. The rest of the correspondence.
There are two additional items of correspondence. Item 180, 2025, received 3 notices from State of California Fish and Game Commission regarding proposed changes in regulations. And item 193, 2025, received notice from Bi-County Ambulance regarding their 2024 annual report.
Thank you. Board and staff member reports. Start down here with Andy.
We're going to have each department head hopefully give us some feedback on what the public thinks of them, and that's going to be part of my report every week. I'd like to put on the agenda that we look at the joint powers agreement with Sutter Mental Health, Bi-County Mental Health Department. This was originally done in 1972, and I think we need to revise that. So we need to start scheduling it and get something going, because mental health is in a state of limbo right now. That would be agendized. Thank you. That's it.
Supervisor House.
Oh, there goes my mic. All right. So just wanted add a couple things. I've had a pretty good success at filling all the commissions in my district. I'm still looking for a historic commission or commissioner. So if anybody's interested in preserving the history of Yuba County that lives in my district, that would be great. And then there's still the opening on the child care board. That's a Bi-County's board, and we were hoping to fill that with somebody from Yuba County. So if you have anybody in your office that has kids that are in daycare that want to take on a volunteer responsibility to help improve care of our children in our counties, please advise them to reach out. They can reach out to me. They can reach out to the clerk of the board. And then a couple busy weeks going to CSAC this week in Sacramento. It's the California Association of Counties, and hopefully learning a lot of the lobbying side of what our counties have going in the state. Hopefully we can redirect some of the changes that have made in federal government. We can get some of those to take effect in our state as well. And then next week I'll be headed to cap with a lot of our regional elected officials, trying to further our local agendas and work for some help in the water agency front. So, but thank you all for coming.
Supervisor Fair.
In case it's not obvious from my uniform, I'm very Yes to Yuba oriented. And so I want to make sure that it was clear that I was gushing about how wonderful it was. In fact, I was at a State of the Union town hall last week for Sutter, and they're attempting to mimic some of our successes with their Sutter Point development that we had in Yuba County. I believe we have the UNS Festival coming up because, again, of that Yes to Yuba mindset that pushed that through and made that succeed. And I think there's also a On the Horizon event coming up because, again, pushing development and success. And so I'm very much a yes to Yuba. I don't know if I'll have to get a new shirt. I don't think it'll look nearly as nice saying economic development, but we'll see. But I very much like what Yes to Yuba does for our county and the way that it has promoted those businesses. And then there's a Bard's Ball event this coming week as well, and you guys are all invited.
Great. Kevin?
Maybe just a follow-up. Looks like we got another wipeout going on. But anyways, just to follow up on Supervisor Vasquez's comment about Sutter Yuba Behavioral Health, there is an ad hoc that was formed. We are meeting. Actually, I have a meeting, myself and Jennifer Vasquez and members from Sutter County side of the river as well with the behavioral health folks. We're meeting with State Department of Healthcare Services to talk through one of the first steps in analyzing the JPA is analyzing how the funding comes in to both Yuba and Sutter County. And for decades, the state has combined those revenue sources coming in. And so this is meeting with the state to talk about at least identifying the two separate counties so that we know how much is coming in that's Yuba funds and how much is coming in that's Sutter funds. And then obviously looking at the costs of services provided in both Yuba and Sutter, because I think those will be important aspects to analyze as we look at what the JPA looks like in the future.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Kevin, who are the members of the ad hoc? Okay.
Yes.
I was just wondering. Thank you.
And that's something that that was formed, that ad hoc was formed last calendar year. That's something that the chair could always revisit if there's an interest in changing which members are going to be on that ad hoc. Yes.
You need to take that, Andy. Janet?
Nothing to report. Thank you.
All right. So I guess Andy didn't hear me when the first part when I said silence your cell phones. The Horizons dinner coming up Thursday. I'm really looking forward to that and like to thank our Yes to Yuba team or whatever your new name is. That's going to be a great event. Also, preparing to go to Cap, first week of May. I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully we can get some great things coming back from Washington, D.C. to Yuba County. I'd like to thank Public Works for allowing me to cut the ribbon on the Los Vergeles Bridge. It's a really good event, but me with my ADHD, I was playing with the scissors so much ahead of time, I loosened the nut, so when it came actual cut time, they were loose and didn't want to cut. I had to back up and give it a few more whacks. So, but it was a nice bridge. If you guys have ever get a chance to make it up there, it's just a huge improvement. It's really, really a great thing. I'm going to, going back with your Yes to Yuba presentation you guys made about the Yuba County Airport. Most of you know I'm also commander of the Yuba-Sutter Sheriff's Aero Squadron. We're a volunteer group of pilots that fly around deputies from Yuba and Sutter County and code enforcement, do search and, search for people and what have you. Last year we had our very first annual fundraising dinner. Tried to have it out on the tarmac at the Yuba County Airport to highlight our airport. We had hail and rain that day, and thanks to Jason Copping, we were able to quickly move that indoors. So we changed the date this year to May 17th, hoping that we will get better weather. I'm sure we're going to. So we're having that dinner outside at the Yuba County Airport on the tarmac after the Hmong Freedom Fighters reunion event. So they've graciously agreed to leave their airplane. It's a T-28. They're going to leave it there for display. We're going to have some really cool airplanes on display. Really nice fundraising dinner. But I just wanted to point it out that it really has highlighted our airport because we had a lot of people last year from Sutter County, big business people and everything else that came to our dinner, and they didn't even know that Yuba County had an airport. So people were like, wow, we didn't know they had an airport, and it's huge, and it's really a great facility. So I'm glad to see we're highlighting that on the Yes to Yuba thing and getting some new signage up there. I personally would like to see a bike path in front of the airport property. I don't care if it's even dirt, but I rode my bike out once to pay my hangar rent and had to ride on Arboga Road. So like to see that in the future. But anyway, you guys, we have a great facility out there at Yuba County Airport. And if you have a chance, we're going to have a great dinner out there on May 17th. I hope you all can make it. And before the dinner is going to be the Hmong Freedom Fighters 50th reunion. And so that's it. With that, we will take a 15-minute break, and we'll come back into closed session, well, I don't know, 10:35 or something like that. Okay? Thank you.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
Yuba-Sutter, alive. It's the truth that comes through.